What's happening, sports fans? How you doing? I am Kendrick, the sports guy. Good day to you. And HBO original docuseries Hard Knocks in season is back for a second run, and it will focus on the NFC East. We're going to talk about that in this segment. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that follow button, and subscribe to the YouTube channels if you have not already done so. Those channels are Kendrick Sports Hustle as well as TFG Sports Media. But before we get to that, we got some sad news to pass along. Longtime Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay passed away at the age of 65 on Wednesday morning. According to reports, he passed away in his sleep, and no cause of death has been reported at this time. Now, Irsay would become the Colts owner in 1997 after the death of his father, Robert. He would then draft Peyton Manning in 1998, and they would have some successful years there, would eventually win a Super Bowl and win numerous division titles as well. So again, the NFL is mourning the loss of Jim Irsay. We send our condolences to the Colts family as well as Jim Irsay's immediate family as well. Now, let's move on to HBO original series Hard Knocks. They had some issues with finding the training camp features. They were supposed to feature the North Carolina Tar Heels, which I did something on that about Bill Belichick and what happened with that. You can check that story out as well. So now they did a pivot. They're going to be focusing on the Buffalo Bills in the training camp edition of Hard Knocks, which that will premiere the second week of August. But we're talking about the in-season one, which is making a second run after last year's run when they featured the AFC North. This season, it would be the NFC East, one of the most fiercest competitive divisions, one of the oldest divisions with some of the oldest rivals in the NFL. Let's talk about how this division looked last season. Well, we all know the Eagles fly, as they say. They dismantled the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They finished the year, as far as they won their division at 14-3. And speaking of dismantling, they dismantled one of their division rivals in the NFC Championship game. That was the Washington Commanders. And oh, by the way, that was the first time that two division rivals met in a conference championship game in some years. So the Eagles are still looking pretty strong. Again, they finished 14-3. Superstar running back Saquon Barkley led the league in rushing. Almost broke Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record for a season, which was over 2,000 yards, but he didn't even play in the last game. That is Barkley. So he probably could have broke it, but he had an outstanding year. Jalen Hurts was steady as they come. You know, they got all their weapons on offense, but they did lose a couple of free agents on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see how strong the Eagles will come back this upcoming season. As far as the Commanders, 12-5. Head coach Dan Quinn came in and changed the culture, and this team looked pretty damn good, especially with that quarterback who was going into his sophomore year, Jaden Daniels. He played like a cool, calm, collected veteran last year, and he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. I think this guy is going to be one of the guys to be talking about for years to come. So the Commanders, again, came in second at 12-5. The Cowboys finished 7-10, had quite a few injuries down the stretch, didn't have Dak Prescott. They would eventually let Mike McCarthy walk. They got a new guy now on the sideline, never been a head coach before, Brian Schottenheimer. And they're going to have a lot of new faces. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Cowboys can add to that win total. They were 7-10. Maybe they can add 3 more wins and make this division even more competitive. As far as the Giants, they finished 3-14. I think Brian Daboll is on the hot seat. But they bringing in 2 veteran quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. They drafted Jackson Dart out of Ole Miss. So we're going to see how this team reacts after fumbling running back Saquon Barkley. If you recall that Hard Knocks that they did in season, I think it was last year, may have been last year. It had to be when they was the Giant, not the end season, but it was another Hard Knocks they did, and they fumbled the free agency move of Saquon Barkley, who eventually would end up in Philly and end up being a Super Bowl champ. So the NFC East will be the focus of the in-season Hard Knocks. I think it's going to be a good one. Again, you got some changes with the Cowboys, especially with the new head coach. The Eagles looking to try to repeat. Speaking of repeat, there has not been a repeat division winner in this NFC East since 2004. Can the Eagles do it? What about the Commanders? Can they take that next step with Jaden Daniels and crew? Because they made a couple of trades. Got Deebo Samuel, so they've made some additions as well. And the Giants, I think they just got to figure it out. I think Brian Daboll is the clock is ticking. His seat is probably going to be a little warm this season. So again, this is going to be one to watch. It'll probably premiere just like the one last season, the AFC North. It premiered the second week of December. Following these teams the last 4 weeks or so in the division race, and I think that's a good move. And I think that's what you're going to see with this one, the NFC East as well. So I'd like to know what you guys think. Hard Knocks in season, NFC East. Talk to me in the comments. I'm Kendrick, the Sports Guy. We will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Peace.